Looking live over a cold downtown Macon this morning. Near freezing, not quite as cold as we were yesterday morning, but we've got a big warm up in store. We'll go through the details of that coming up.
Plus, election season in full swing. We'll hear from different candidates running in the races. And the superintendent of Dublin schools up for the 2023 State Superintendent of the Year award. We tell you why he's qualified.
And I'll introduce you to a Houston County school that was recognized among some other schools nationwide for this week's School of the Week.
Well, good morning and happy Friday. You are looking live over downtown Macon. The time is now 6:30 on this October the 21st. I'm Caitlin Heck. It may be October 21st, Alex, but it's definitely feeling a little more December-like this morning again.
Yeah, and in fact, I was just thinking about it. So when we talk about average lows and average highs a lot of the time, we never have an average low of 29 degrees, which is what we were at yesterday morning. So anytime we're in the 20s, we are below average. So not only were we below average for yesterday, we broke a record yesterday, second earliest freeze on record, earliest 20 on record, and it was nowhere near normal ever here in central Georgia. Not quite as cold this morning though. 35 in Macon, 35 in Warner Robins, 36 in Dublin, only 1 degree away from freezing there in Perry. And this isn't going to be the bottom of it. We're going to be cooling off 1 or 2 more degrees before all is said and done this morning, as we still have about an hour or so before the sun comes up. 36 in Swainsboro this morning and 43 in Vidalia. But generally speaking, we are running 2 to 4 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday morning. The radar picture, of course, is quiet, and we're thankful for it, because if it wasn't, we would not be talking about rain. We'd be talking about other stuff, and it is quiet across a lot of the southeast this morning as well. As we head through the day today, expect temperatures to warm into the 70s. 77 our average high. We're only going to top out right around 70 this afternoon. But Caitlin, we're going to go warmer than that for the weekend and next week. I'll have those details here in a few minutes.
Definitely would like to see some warmer temperatures. Thank you, Alex. In election news this morning, right now, Republican candidate Herschel Walker continues his Unite Georgia bus tour. He made an appearance yesterday in Macon. He was accompanied by RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel and a few senators like Florida's Rick Scott. Walker talked about inflation, benefits, gender identity in the military, and abortion. Today, Walker heads to Americus to continue his bus tour. Meanwhile, Senator Raphael Warnock is also making his way around the state in the final weeks before the election. Wednesday, he held a rally with Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda to get out the Latina vote. Yesterday, Warnock stopped in Athens. Mayor Kelly Gritz, Athens Commissioner Tim Denson, and Democratic State Senator Jen Jordan, who's running for Attorney General, all joined Warnock in speaking to UGA students. Warnock was also joined by members of the Dogs for Warnock student group who have been campaigning for his re-election. And with early voting underway and Election Day fastly approaching, we want to make sure you know exactly who you're voting for. We spoke with 2 state Senate candidates competing for the District 18 seat, incumbent John Kennedy and challenger Chris Benton. Both candidates place a heavy emphasis on education and making sure schools are well funded. Benton also wants to focus on affordable health care, ending gerrymandering, and legalizing marijuana. Kennedy is campaigning on his record in the state Senate and wants to invest in policing and cutting taxes.
In addition to suspension of the gas tax and also returning $1 billion this past year to taxpayers, we also had the second most historic tax cuts that Georgia's ever seen.
Legalizing sports betting and cannabis will increase revenue without increasing income taxes. And with that additional revenue, we can invest in our infrastructure, we repair our streets, and we can invest in our education without raising taxes.
Now, last night, we also heard from candidates for Georgia House Districts 146 and 147, as well as Houston County Commission Post 2. 13 WMAZ partnered with the Robins Regional Chamber to host the forum for you to hear from candidates competing to represent Houston County in different positions. The men running for the Post 2 seat are Shane Gottwals and Tim Riley. We asked a variety of questions on topics like the economy, the county's growth, supporting Robins' missions, and why each candidate decided to run. Here's what they had to say.
I would love to see some sort of public transportation system for Houston County. We have so many people that are trying to get from point A to point B, and it's extremely difficult, particularly with our senior citizens. They need to be able to get to the stores. They need to be able to get to the doctor appointments. We need something. If the other communities around us are able to do that, we should be able to do it. We're big enough now.
It's, I guess, pretty personal just as a local business owner. I would love to see more grant programs coming from the county that help develop small businesses, especially small businesses that are started born and raised out of Houston County. Maybe expansion projects, whatever it might be, facade grants for the various businesses that we have, and just overall a push to just shop local. That's maybe even an advertising campaign.
If you missed last night's forum, we'll air the full forum tomorrow. You can catch it at 12:30 in the afternoon, right after Central Georgia Focus on 13 WMAZ. The following Saturday, you'll hear from candidates running for Georgia House District 146 and 147. Well, this morning we bring you a story that comes straight from the heart. The Mercy University women's basketball team paid a visit to some young fans at Macon's Beverly Olson Children's Hospital. The team spent a fun afternoon outside with the patients. They did everything from a dribbling competition to slime making and so much more.
Kind of just getting away from basketball. It's always basketball all the time. We around each other all the time. So I think doing things like this helps us to learn each other more as people other than just players.
And you know that those patients just loved it. The Lady Bears tip-off for this season happens on November 7th at Hawkins Arena against Middle Tennessee. All right, now a celebration is in order for Dublin City Schools. The district superintendent, Fred Williams, has been named one of 4 finalists for the 2023 State Superintendent of the Year. Williams became the district's first black superintendent in 2015. He's worked for Dublin City Schools for nearly 30 years, serving as assistant principal, and assistant superintendent before being named to the top job. During his tenure, Dublin City Schools was named Georgia's Charter System of the Year in 2019. Most recently, the district celebrated its highest graduation rate in history at nearly 96%.
You must realize that it's not about you, it's about serving other people. You must have resiliency, and you must be willing to make the decisions that are the right decisions for young people.
The Georgia School Superintendents Association will name the statewide winner during the school board's winter conference in December. We wish him the best of luck, but what an honor to even be nominated. Well, it's almost time for Friday night lights to shine. Yes, teams are getting ready to hit the field for another week of gridiron greatness here in Central Georgia. Make sure you join us for Tailgate 13 starting at 5 as our crew is live from Bleckley County. They're preparing to take on the East Lawrence Falcons. Then at 11:35 tonight, you know the drill, join the crew for Football Friday night. They'll bring you highlights from games all across Central Georgia. But if you miss it, just make sure to download the 13 WMAZ Plus app. You'll find full episodes each week, every game, fan of the week, quiz question, and rib rocker. It's all there streaming on demand on the 13 WMAZ Plus app. Download that app today on your Roku and Amazon devices, and make sure you tune in tonight at 11:35. And whether you're out on the field, the sidelines, or in the stands cheering on your Central Georgia team, we want to see you. Send your Football Friday night pics to our team, and we can show them off each week. Text those photos to 478-752-1309. It's right there on your screen, 478-752-1309. Well, it is Friday, and today we highlight our School of the Week. We tell you the school and why it's being honored nationally coming up. And we'll also show off people all over Central Georgia celebrating something special in our celebration segment. Could be you, so make sure you stick around for that. Time is 6:38 right now. We are celebrating every single degree above freezing that we can get.
Yes, that's right. Yesterday bottomed out at 29 here in Central Georgia.
I still can't believe it.
I can't. When I saw that pop up on the map yesterday, I was honestly shocked for a second because it was October 20th.
Yeah, it's not even Halloween yet.
Exactly. Yeah, and so we broke several records as well. We broke the daily record yesterday. It's the earliest 20-degree temperature that we've seen in Central Georgia, and it ties the record for the second earliest freeze in Macon. So yeah, let's just roll on past tomorrow and forget that happened. 35 in Macon, or yesterday I should say, not tomorrow. 35 in Macon, 35 in Warner Robins this morning, 34 in Cochrane, 37 in Milledgeville, and 41 in Thomaston. Right now, the satellite and radar picture across the southeast is quiet as we do have high pressure in control of our forecast. That means not a lot in the way of cloud cover. We're waking up to 50 this morning in Tulsa, 47 in Little Rock, Arkansas, and 39 there in Nashville, Tennessee this morning. Now, as we head through the day today, the temperatures, they're going to rebound rather quickly. We could lose 1 or 2 more degrees before all is said and done for the morning, but then quickly into the 60s this afternoon, 63 or so by about the noon hour. I think we top off near 70 today. And then as we roll into the evening tonight, temperatures will begin to fall once again. But of course, we've got a lot going on across Central Georgia tonight. A lot of festivals this weekend, obviously football tonight. So we're going to be looking at a pretty good forecast for that. But going to want to dress in layers so that you can add the layers as you get into the evening tonight, because even though the games are going to start around 70 degrees, they'll be wrapping up right around 53. So cooling off rather quickly across the area. All the way down closer to 40 for tomorrow morning. Not quite as cold as we are this morning, but that's going to be the trend as we head through the weekend and into next week. Each morning not quite as cold as the morning before it. Each afternoon warmer than the afternoon before it. On into Sunday morning, his trend continues. On into Sunday afternoon, closer to the mid-70s here in central Georgia before all is said and done. So 33 is what I'm forecasting for the low this morning. That's going to be at 36 there for Saturday, 43 on Sunday. So you see the trend here, stair-stepping it up all the way to Tuesday, when we're going to be some 17 to 18 degrees warmer for an overnight low temperature than we are this morning. So weather whiplash, if you will. Now, we could use the rainfall. We got an update from the Drought Monitor yesterday. A lot of central Georgia in abnormally dry conditions. Here we are now, completed 20 days of October. Today's October 21st. Only 2 of those days have we seen rainfall, and it actually came together. It happened during the overnight hours. So when you add it all up, we've only seen just over a ½ inch of rain for October. That puts us more than an inch below normal for any given October. And unfortunately, I don't see much rain in our forecast going forward. I'll show you when we have a small rain chance here on the 7-day in just a moment. But 30s this morning, dress in layers so that you can lose the layers through the afternoon. 70 or so is going to be our high temperature. Sunrise is at 7:43 this morning, and the winds will be light as we will be warmer than yesterday. Here's your football Friday night forecast. Temperatures cooling off into the 50s as well. Sunset is at 6:55 tonight for an overnight low of 36. Our average low is 51, so still way below that. Here's your weekend forecast as well. Maybe go grab a last-minute pumpkin for Halloween. 74 there on Saturday, 78 on Sunday, then into the 80s next week. 80 there for Tuesday, 81 for Wednesday. A very small chance of rain as our next front arrives middle part of next week.